What's up, kids? Welcome to Garage419. Last week we talked about should Formula One switch to a one-design race engine to cut costs. Not surprisingly, all of you and me said, no, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Today, joining me on the program, Mr. Wes Siler, editor of Hell for Leather magazine and road test editor for Jalopnik.com. Welcome, brother.
Hey, Matt.
Thanks for being here.
Hey.
And I hear you've been out in the desert for a while testing quads.
I have. You're the first person I've seen in 7 days, and I can tell you it's a breath of fresh air.
Oh, yeah. I'm the first face you want to see. Now, today on the show, we're going to talk about GM killing the full-size SUVs. We're going to talk about motorcycles killing a whole lot of Marines this year. And we're going to talk about how you could buy yourself a hybrid supercar at Sam's Club. Stick around. It's Garage419.
This episode of Garage419 is brought to you by Valvoline's automotive series Under the Hood with Brandon and the Frog. Watch for new episodes at brandonandthefrog.com.
Wes, tell me something. How would you feel to see a General Motors in the future without any sort of full-size SUVs?
I feel really good about that. You know, their SUVs, the Suburban, the Tahoe, and the Yukon, they're kind of their weakest products.
You think so? Because I think GM could build a truck.
They symbolize GM, but they're terrible cars. They're huge. They're enormous. Like the size of a Hummer, which is going away.
I had a Hummer. It was awful.
You're gay.
It was terrible. It was. I traded it for a Mini. It was terrible.
But if you look at like say a Honda Pilot, it's like 2/3 the size, but it's got more room inside, like significantly more room inside than a Suburban or an Escalade. That's insane. There's such inefficient, just like poor excuses for vehicles. They're expensive too. It's like. But you look at GM's products, and things like the Cruze coming out, the Volt coming out, the ZR1 just came out, the CTS-V just came out. They've got great products. There's too much emphasis on their SUVs right now.
Well, those are good cars, but from what I've read, I read that GM just spent like $2 billion redesigning that whole line of trucks, okay, only to have it killed because, well, now no one's buying them with gas prices. There's no point to redoing the trucks for next generation. But I heard that those were supposed to be some of the best SUVs ever. Unfortunately, they're not making them now.
Well, do we really want the best SUVs ever, or do we want the best cars ever?
I would like the best cars.
If you want cars, then make them cars. Don't make them trucks just because they had $2 billion in it.
Well, that's why the Escalade, which supposedly will be the only surviving model of this axe, is going to switch to the Lambda platform, which is what the Chevy Traverse and the. Yeah,
that's terrible.
I know, it's kind of a travesty, isn't it?
Yeah, all the I'm not a fan of any of the Lambdas.
I'm not. To me, they bridge a gap that doesn't need to be bridged in between like the Trailblazer and the Tahoe. I don't see why there's a void there that had to be filled.
If you think of cars as segments, then yes, there's a segment there to be filled. But if you think of cars as having the potential to be exciting products and not just like a segment filler, the Lambda is not an exciting product.
I hear you. I personally, I'm not going to really miss the full-size SUVs. I think they served a purpose for that time, but
just make me sports cars.
Goodbye and good riddance. Yeah, just make double the amount of ZR1s and I'll be happy. Now you're into motorcycles. That's your deal, right?
I love my motorcycles.
I just got a picture sent to me in my email of this new Ducati Streetfighter.
Yeah.
Tell me about this thing because it looks crazy.
All right, we're not supposed to know about it yet.
But we do.
We do because my little publication, Hell for Leather, broke the story on Saturday, 3 days before the embargo came down.
Good work. Because of people like you, I have a show.
Stand-up young men like myself.
Yeah.
It's a cool bike. It's basically their outgoing 1098 Superbike, which is now replaced by 1198, which you're all supposed to not to know.
Secrets.
So it's got 155 horsepower. It's got big flat bars and no fairing, so it'll be really fast, but also a lot more fun than their sports bike.
So it's like a
sort of visceral.
It's like a naked bike, like the Monster, right?
It's like the Monster, but it's like 75% faster.
Yeah, because the Monster was always my favorite Ducati, and then everyone kept telling me how slow it was, even though it was cool looking.
They always came with a lot of engines. They came with both air-cooled and water-cooled engines, and what they've done now is they've cut all the water-cooled engines from the Monster range.
Okay.
So now it'll just come in 696 and 1100cc air-cooled twin versions.
That's a pretty wide margin there for
But they're both air-cooled, so you're talking about difference by like 20 horsepower.
Oh, okay.
But the water-cooled, the big power motors are going in the Streetfighter now. So you're talking about the difference between the 1100 has something off the top of my head 100 horsepower.
Okay.
You're talking about 55 more horsepower on something that weighs less.
So it's going to be
a fast motorcycle with top of the range, the best suspension you can buy, and the S model, the Streetfighter S, gets traction control.
What? On a bike?
Yeah, unlike in cars, traction control isn't some nanny to slow you down. On Ducati motorcycles, it's used as a performance enhancer. It lets you get on that throttle really early in corners. Really early in corners.
Reducing wheel spin coming out of a hard corner? Is that the point?
Yeah. You know, right now you really have to tread a fine line of acceleration coming out of a corner because you don't want to lose the back end because you'll high side.
Okay.
That's a big crash and it sucks. And
yeah,
you get hurt.
That doesn't sound good.
That's how you hurt yourself. So now you can just whack that throttle open. It'll give you maximum acceleration, but it'll cut it if you slide.
Huh.
So you can whack on the power like mid corner and just accelerate out.
Cool.
So it's a huge performance enhancer.
And how much is this going to cost? Do we know?
They haven't released official price yet, but my sources in the company, my sort of deep throat kind of person, they're saying about $14,000 to $15,000 for the standard version.
Yeah.
Maybe $1,000 to $1,500 more for the S version.
It's not terrible. I mean, Ducatis tend to be at the top of the sport bike price range, and that doesn't seem all that expensive.
Yeah, if you sort of look at it, I mean, this will out-accelerate any Ferrari ever made for $14,000 or $15,000, and it looks damn good.
I know some kids with a Honda that'll out-accelerate a Ferrari ever made for $14,000 too.
Well, that too.
Doesn't mean I want one of those, but I will take a Ducati.
It's a little bit cheaper than their new 1198 Superbike, so you know you're getting similar performance in a more fun package for less money.
Nice. Well, that sounds good to me. On the other hand, I just read a story that apparently there were more U.S. Marines killed on sport bikes this year than killed in combat in Iraq. Can you elaborate?
It was motorcycles in general, not just sports bikes.
Okay.
There were 20 Marines killed in Iraq this year, or in the last 12 months, and there were 25 Marines killed on motorcycles in the last 12 months.
Okay.
And
those motorcycle accidents happened here.
They happen stateside.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
they go to war. They get trained how to kill people and use big fancy weapons, and they come home, buy a sports bike with their hazard pay, you know, and go out and drive it to the first tree that they come across.
They assume because they can handle a 50 caliber and a dune buggy that they could come home. Oh yeah, I can ride this Ninja, no problem.
And the big difference is that they're trained to handle that dune buggy and the 50 cal. There's never before been any training in America that's not hugely expensive track-based stuff.
Well, just as
for actual how to ride a sports bike like a sports bike's supposed to be ridden. There was never an acknowledgement that stuff existed. They always just sort of like took you to a parking lot, like here are some cones, try not to fall over.
Yeah,
that was the training.
Yeah,
you know, but now they're actually doing a real European style advanced motorcycle course, and they're like, if you're going to buy a sports bike, you want to ride it fast. We're going to teach you how to do that safely.
So what do they rent a racetrack? Do they go out? I mean, they go out on the street and ride
they do some stuff in like big parking lots, and they do some stuff on the street. You know, in England they have similar training courses that I've done with the police. And the police actually take you out on sports bikes, and you go over 100 miles an hour. And they're like, this is how you can ride your sports bikes. We know you're going to do it. Let's try to teach you how to not kill yourself.
What has been the reaction from the Marines in terms of this course here, this safety course?
They love it. You know, they've done a really clever job of pitching the course to the Marines. So instead of like, they did a study and they found out that Marines were more concerned about hurting their new possession, their motorcycle, than were about hurting themselves. These guys have no fear. So
I can agree with that. I'm definitely I would be more afraid to wreck my car because of how much it would cost to fix the car than breaking I have health insurance. So like whatever.
They restructured all the language in the course to be like, instead of like, hey, don't hurt yourself, don't kill yourself, they're like, dude, you don't want to hurt your fancy new bike. Yeah. You don't want to get blood on the fairing. You know, that just doesn't wipe off.
The red asphalt course is being renamed like the scratched plastic course or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, if you're going to spend $15,000 on a bike, you don't want to scratch it. So here's how to avoid doing so. And then they sort of eat this stuff up.
Have they gotten positive results in terms of fewer deaths so far?
They've just started implementing it.
Yeah.
But of the 300 Marines so far that have passed the course, only 3 have had accidents, and none have been seriously injured. So that's hugely better.
Good.
Yeah,
why do you think they don't have this course for real people? I mean,
there's always been this
civilians.
There's always been this like lack of acknowledging that motorcycles are ridden quickly on the road. The motorcycle industry wants to be seen as this like incredibly responsible. They want to sell milk or something. Yeah. But they don't. They sell really fast motorcycles.
Yeah.
And they never want to sort of acknowledge that in offering a training course that was like, here's how you ride a Ducati.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't a way to maintain that image.
Well, there are definitely too many people out there that are getting on bikes that are way too fast for their skill level and doing very stupid things.
They are, and that's who you hear about that dies. You hear about these horrible motorcycle accident statistics, and it's guys without helmets, without leathers, without body armor, without gloves, going out and trying to wheelie their brand new Hayabusa that they just bought, as their first bike.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's no surprise when they kill themselves.
Oh, look, if there is a one poster boy for motorcycle safety, I don't know about you. I've been watching Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, okay? Gary Busey got into a motorcycle crash in 1980-something or 90-something, and just watch 5 minutes of that guy, okay? That is brain damage as a result of a motorcycle crash. It's bad. Coming up on Garage 419, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to tell you guys, and then you can go see for yourselves later, how you can buy a hybrid supercar at Sam's Club. Stick around.
Auto do-it-yourselfers have amazing bartering potential.
Well, not until you fix my car like you said.
You get a free pizza in exchange for some easy car work. One reason that a car might run hot is because of bad or low coolant. We're gonna play it safe and replace the fluid. That's the free thing there is, man.
You know, right about now I do just about anything for a free sliced pizza. I'm starving. I'd even shave my back. But fortunately, I don't have to shave my back for a sliced pizza because I know how to change my own antifreeze. And according to Brandon and the Frog, free pizza is the going rate for a coolant change these days. You'll learn how to do it yourself by watching Under the Hood with Brandon the Frog at brandonthefrog.com. Everyone knows the exotic car market's in the toilet right now. Sales are way down all across brands, especially in the luxury brands and luxury accessories. Now, a viewer sent me this picture of Klaus Edensberger wheels, CEC wheels, which are very expensive, actually being sold at a local discount retailer, Costco. It was Costco.
Is it like 5 for the price of 4 or something?
I don't know.
Big street rat package.
If you get all 4 of your cars, rims for all 4 of them at once, it's really bad. And on top of that, Sam's Club is selling a new hybrid supercar from Hybrid Technologies. Hybrid Technologies has in the past basically taken your car, whatever car you wanted, and turned it into a hybrid. Now they're developing their own supercar, and they're selling the first one for $100,000 at Sam's Club.
Have they actually made one of those cars? They just sort of like, it's just sort of like vaporware. Like
the advertisement appears to be a rendering and not an actual car. I mean,
does anybody at the shops at Sam's Club actually can they actually afford a $100,000 car?
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe if it
is there a layaway plan or
there's got to be something. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't buy a concept hybrid supercar at Sam's Club. I don't know why they think they're going to be able to sell this
What's
thing.
their after-sales service like?
Yeah, does it come with a warranty? Do you have to build a service department in every single Sam's Club? I mean, I know they sell tires and well, they do sell batteries there.
Yeah.
They sell car batteries, so I guess they may have a battery service program.
It's actually a new plan just to sell lots more batteries.
Yeah. That's the plan. Buy one supercar. Oh, it needs new batteries every month. So they're selling 50 extra batteries a month for this thing. I mean, really, like, is the exotic car business that terrible that we're selling hybrid supercars at Sam's Club? I mean, come on, guys. Wes, if you were to buy a hybrid supercar, what would your ideal retail chain be for that?
I've always been more of a Walmart kind of guy.
Walmart? I would say
I feel like I would get a better deal at Walmart.
Yeah, and they are 24-hour.
And they're 24 hours, and then they have car servicing as well. So it's like, why not buy a $100,000 supercar at Walmart?
Yeah, if they sold them at Walmart instead of Sam's Club, Walmart's 24 hours, so you could actually have the drunken impulse buy.
You could buy milk, a shotgun, and a $100,000 supercar all in the same place.
I mean, that would really
and all your clothing. You could buy your sweatpants, one size fits all.
It would be the best store on earth. I would love it. So to close out the day's discussion, Lewis Hamilton, youngest Formula One driver to win a points championship. Yay for Lewis Hamilton and McLaren. And that's all well and good, and good for him, and I hope he continues victories. But we found a video. This is great. See, the points championship literally came down to the last turn of the last lap of the last race. And Felipe Massa's crew for Ferrari, they thought they won the points championship. So watch this video, and we're going to play it for you right now.
It's a real Siler moment.
Here's what happens. He's coming around the corner. They're cheering. The Ferrari crew, they're cheering. They think they won. Wait for it. Oh! Wait,
Oops.
no. We didn't win. That facial expression right there really says it all. I love when people think they win and they didn't. It's great. So the question of the day. That leaves us to our question of the day. And Wes, I'm going to let you deliver our question of the day.
All right, so now that big SUVs are going the way of the dinosaur, what are rappers going to drive?
What indeed? Are rappers going to go hybrids? Should they go high? I mean, Chevy Volt? I like the Chevy Volt.
It's got batteries.
It does have batteries, but the question is by how many miles is the electric range reduced for every 5,000 watts of bass you put through that thing? That's the question.
No engine noise to interrupt the stereo system.
That's true. I mean, could you see Fat Joe in a smart car? That would be funny. It would be a one-seater.
I think one of those convertibles, put his head out the top.
We want to hear from you guys. What is the next big rapper vehicle now that the full-size SUVs will be going away? Leave a comment below right here, and we'll see you next time. Wes, thanks for being on the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
And that's Garage419. See you next time.